Okay. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Wellness Wednesday. And today we have probably a very popular question: what makes a diet work? And this poor woman here is feeling a little bit frustrated, and maybe you've had the same feeling. We are the Synergy 3, and our mission is to spread vibrant health through group wellness programs focused on the mind, body, and spirit. I am Lucy Diana, and I'm here with my two colleagues, Daryl Moss and Stacy Hendry. So I want to start with this. Can we redefine the word diet? When we think of the word, what comes to mind is restricted calories, the feeling of deprivation. Maybe you're feeling stressed out because you have to give up your favorite foods, but I want to give it a different definition. I want to say that the word diet is a lifelong plan that will nurture your body with what it needs to function well, even into old age. And this last part is incredibly important. It better be delicious. It was meant to be that way. Your palate should always be satisfied. Now, this poor woman, unfortunately, has had many a frustration. And why are diets not working for people? That's a big question. Well, restrictive strategies set us up for failure in the long run. And if we reduce calories too much, the body can actually think it's starving, and it will hold on to weight. Then a restrictive diet can have that yo-yo effect, going onto a diet, coming off of a diet, going on, coming off. Not a good thing. The body wants balance. Maybe we don't understand the dynamics of the diet. What is making it work for us? What is not working for us? That's really, really important. Then maybe you can't wait to get off the diet. You can't wait to get back to your box of cookies. Change has to be sustainable and long-term, and that's what we believe in Synergy 3. And that's what we have personally experienced. And the last one, it needs to be fun. And again, it needs to be delicious. This is not painful. So then which diet works? There's so many out there. One diet doesn't work for everyone. There is no perfect diet. The right diet is the one that works individually for you and the one you're going to do, again, for the long term. There are many diet plans out there, and they're actually very good. You need steps, though, to support a positive and long-lasting weight loss. There might be elements in the plan that you've tried that work for you. The issue is you're not staying on. That's because you need to understand your body. You need to know what makes it tick. So there are really important steps that we need to put in place in order to be healthy, to have optimal wellness. It's not just about weight loss. Then the benefit of being healthy is you start to lose weight. And again, I mentioned it before, the human body wants balance. So when you're out of balance, then you'll gain weight. So we are all biochemically different, and we need to understand our individual uniqueness. What makes our body work efficiently? If we don't understand this, then we can't have long-lasting results. So why am I gaining weight? We live in America, and I travel to Europe a lot, and I'm always told, oh, you Americans, your portions are so big. So we have supersized portions. We don't need to eat as much as we do. And I'll come back to that. There are too many processed foods in the diet. Maybe we're chronically stressed. We live a sedentary lifestyle. We might be dehydrated. We don't drink enough water. We don't get enough sleep. We're on medications that can actually cause us to gain weight. Then it could be part of our genetics, but we are not married to our genetics. Genes can actually be turned on and off with food choices. So that part doesn't have to worry us. Then there are metabolism disruptors. If we're not eating the right food, and if we have different digestive imbalances, we may be nutritionally imbalanced. We're not getting the nutrients we need to be healthy and therefore to have sustainable weight loss. There could be hormonal imbalances. Think menopause. Gut microbiome imbalances, the little bugs that live in our gut, in our digestive system, they have a lot to say. And if you don't know the state of your microbiome, which most of us do not know, then weight loss can be harder for you to achieve. We're living in a toxic world. This is undeniable. We're swimming in a toxic pool. Unfortunately, it's the modern age. So are we in toxic overload? And our body might hold on to weight because of that. We have underlying health conditions to start with. And the first thing that comes to mind, just to give you an example, is the epidemic in diabetes in the young and the old. And insulin resistance, blood sugar imbalances, definitely a reason why a person will have a difficult time losing weight. And food sensitivities. If you ask a person, do you have food sensitivities? They'll say, oh no, I am not sensitive to any food. But you really don't know that. They are hidden and silent. And you may have come on and off diets your entire life, never knowing that the potentially not so bad food you're eating is actually causing inflammation in your body. And that is not allowing you to lose the extra weight. Now, I could have a separate webinar on each of these topics, but this is just a general idea for you to understand. It's really not about the diet plan. It's about you as an individual. So how can I lose weight, right? The famous question, I want to lose weight. And that's a good thing. You have to commit to change. You might have to change your ways. You might have to give up a few things for a time being anyway, and then maybe bring it in moderation. But I always say to everyone, you've eaten the way you have all this time, then committing to change is not a bad thing, especially if it's going to bring you to optimal wellness. It's not just about weight loss. Again, you're going to follow a whole food plan of delicious recipes. You're going to take the steps to empower you. You're going to focus on, again, eating healthier. Eating healthier, you're going to improve your digestion. If you're not a very active person, you're going to kick that up a notch. You're going to make sure you're drinking enough water. And you're going to work on stress management, which I think most of us living in the modern world are challenged in this place. And you may not have diabetes, but if you're chronically, or blood sugar issues that you know of, but if you're a chronically stressed person and you are releasing, unbeknownst to you, stress hormones every day, I say it's almost like having sugar flowing through your blood without eating sugar. Okay, so reducing stress is so very important. And if you can't do it on your own, get in a group program. There's something to say about social contact, especially now in this time of pandemic, and the camaraderie, the, cheering on that we do with each other. It's really important. And last but not least, rather, is have a positive mindset. Yes, you can do this. Maybe you're discouraged from going on and off diets, but you can do this. Let food be your medicine. My favorite saying from Hippocrates. It was my medicine many years ago when I found out that I had celiac disease. So here at Synergy 3, we focus on quality of food as opposed to putting a strong emphasis on calories. Not that we don't want you to have a ballpark figure, but anyone who has done our programs will see we're not counting calories, and yet you're getting amazing results because the nutrient dense optimally, then it's satisfied. Can you hear me? Because my internet connection just said unstable. Are you hear me?
Lucy, you glitched for a minute, but you're back.
Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. So when your body is receiving what it needs, then it doesn't want to eat as much. Many people will say, who have done our programs, just giving that as an example, is they're not eating as much as they did before because the body is satisfied. And even those cravings for what we call empty calorie foods, like sugary foods, that really are not feeding your body the nutrition it needs, eventually those cravings will subside. And a little tip here for that is when you're feeding the body, you're not just feeding your cells, you're feeding those bugs in the gut microbiome, the little organisms that live in your digestive system. And if it's off balance and you have, because there's a mixture of good and bad, I'm not going to get into the science of that, but if the scale is tipped and you have a little bit too much of the bad, guess what they like? They like sugar. So they're going to have you crave that sugar. But as you get on a healthy eating plan, you'll notice it starts to subside because you're feeding the good guys as opposed to what I call the bad guys. So this is our mantra: eat better, not less. So you're going to feel full when you eat whole nutrient dense foods as close to nature as possible. You're going to eat your veggies. You're going to have quality protein. You're going to eat healthy fats, and quality really matters. Whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds. That's a whole food diet, and it can create the most amazing, delicious recipes. It is not painful at all. And then you need healthy habits to support the healing so that the weight loss comes. Number one, I said to you, you need to reduce stress. Number two, eating hygiene. What do I mean by that? I'm just going to give you one tip here. You need to sit, actually two. You need to sit in a stress-free environment. Your meal is sacred. It is important. You are feeding your body what it needs to survive, to live, to make you be the healthiest person, and for you to enjoy life. So it's sacred. It's not a thought. So I'm eating on the run. No. And then you're going to chew your food carefully. Weight loss starts there. If you're engulfing your food, your body's going to have to work extra hard to digest it. And a faulty digestion is going to impede a weight loss goal. So that's why before I said you need to know and understand the dynamics of what you're doing in order for it to be sustainable. So if you chew your food thoroughly, you are starting digestion in a positive way. You're taking the burden off the body. Sleep. We need to sleep because our body repairs when we sleep. So if you have trouble sleeping, you might have trouble losing weight. And hopefully, sometimes just getting on a healthier plan will actually improve sleep. And of course, adding in health supportive practices will also, hopefully, again, we all have underlying things. We might have underlying issues going on that need a deeper dive, but we have seen working with clients positive effects. Hydration. Health starts with water. The body is mostly water. If we're not hydrating, then how can we be healthy? How can we lose weight? How can we flush toxins out of the body? I mentioned that we are in a toxic pool in this modern age, but we don't have to look at it in a negative way. Yes, okay, we are living it, but there's things we could do about it. And our body is incredibly resilient. Think about it. Think of how long we've been living in this modern day and age. And hey, we're surviving because the body takes care of itself. It has the innate ability to heal itself. So hydration helps with that. And be honest with yourself. Are you drinking enough water? Weight loss could start there alone. And we do need to move. There's no way out of this. I know you'll hear, people propose that, hey, I didn't need to do any exercise and I was able to lose weight. But again, realistically speaking, we were designed to move. And at times we are designed to rest also. There has to be, again, that balance. So I thought a visual would be good. This is what we propose here at Synergy 3 to be a healthy plate. If you look at this plate, let's start with this. Non-starchy vegetables, the green and the orange, and low glycemic carbs. These are the plant foods. So we believe that a little more than your plate should be filled with the plant kingdom. And we teach you to eat from all the colors of the rainbow. So that's a beginning, is right there. And then we need some healthy fats. Very important because there are fat-soluble vitamins that we can only absorb if we eat some healthy fats. And then protein. We need protein for almost building everything in our body. So we need to have some healthy quality protein. And then, of course, drink water. And the formula we use, a general formula, is half your body weight in ounces per day of water. That's the calculation. And then, of course, again, we are all individual, so we have to see what works for us. So my suggestion is a takeaway from today's information is to start. So if you ask me, so Lucy, where do we begin? Start with the plant kingdom, because in order to be healthy in the functional medicine paradigm, it is told to us that we should include actually 9 to 13. I just put this here, 10 a day, but which is a good average amount. 9 to 13 servings of vegetables and then fruit. I added the and then fruit because somebody might say, especially anybody with a sweet tooth, well, then I could have 10 servings of fruit a day. Well, no, that would be definitely too much sugar, even though it's natural sugar. So we want to focus on vegetables and then some fruit. And again, incorporating all the colors of the rainbow. How can we get our vegetables? There's a lot of different ways, fun ways and delicious ways. We're proponents of smoothies at Synergy 3. I mean, you can easily get 5 servings of vegetables and fruit in a smoothie. Soups, especially now in the cold winter months, soups are great. They're delicious. You can even have them for breakfast, and they're incredibly nurturing to the body, especially because they're easy to digest. Salads, we know that. That's a no-brainer, but colorful salads. Variety. Last night, actually, I made myself, and I think I almost licked the plate. I made myself, it's a favorite in the Italian menu planning. I made myself an arugula with an organic orange and fennel. And then I grilled some chicken with a lot of rosemary. It was so good with lemon dressing, completely satisfied. And so they should, like I said, salads can be different. Doesn't have to be a boring salad. Sides, all different types of sides from the plant kingdom. Roasted vegetables, steamed vegetables. I bought something at Whole Foods called confetti rice. And it was a mix of different colored carrots and broccoli stalks and cauliflower. And I sauteed that with a little garlic and oil. It was so good, and actually stuffed a potato with it. So that was different. It was really, really good. And then snacks. What are you snacking on? Can it be a vegetable? Can it be a fruit? And if you want to slow the absorption of sugar from the fruit, you can always add some nut butter on it. So make a diet plan work for you. You can start by grabbing a journal and track what you eat. Start with the vegetables. Look to see how many vegetables are you eating per day. Just observe first. And then see if you can add a vegetable or two at a meal until you gradually reach about 10 servings a day. Be honest with yourself. Why do you want to lose weight? Is it for health reasons? Did your doctor tell you that you needed to lose weight? You can do this. So be honest with yourself. Be patient with the process. It takes us a long time to get to imbalances. So you have to expect that it's going to take you time to create balance again. And this is in order for it to be sustainable and long lasting. Again, you don't want yo-yo dieting. You want to understand your body. You want to know what makes it work, and you want to heal. And lastly, make a decision. That's really what it is. It's making a decision to know you and to be the healthiest version of yourself. Daryl and Stacy, do you have any comments on any particular slide?
Lucy, that was so terrific. I could elaborate on, take it to the next level on everything that you said. I completely agree with it. I guess the main comments that I would want to make is, as we all know, our brain is directly connected to our digestive system, and making the decision for change is something that's so important. And for me, on my personal healing journey, which had nothing to do with weight loss, but that's irrelevant, it was my commitment and my feeling 100% to my core that I could make the change that I needed to make to live a healthy life. And another thing is that it takes us a while to either develop some sort of disease or to put, like a lot of times people gain a pound a year or a pound every other year. And over time, all of a sudden, we've got 20 pounds to lose. So the 20 pounds isn't going to come off in a day, right? It took time to gain it. And as we change our behavior, we're going to lose it. But it doesn't always happen overnight. Sometimes the body has to get used to the concept that you're eating different food and you're exercising more. And it's not because you're stressed out, it's because you're making a positive change.
Absolutely. I think for me, it was really understanding what makes my body work. And actually my genetics, I did have an opportunity to look at my genetics last year. And it's ironic because according to my genetics, I should have an issue with weight. And the only thing I could say is, and actually my grandmother was overweight. And I also have, according to my genetics, I'm predisposed to diabetes. But I guess it's my healthy way of living that has not been a problem for me. So I just want to say is we may have a certain genetics, but it doesn't mean we're going to express it if we learn what our body needs to be healthy. So it's really understanding the dynamics.
Excellent point, Lucy. Do you want to unshare your screen and we could open it up? Does anyone have any questions? Just unmute yourself and.
I had a question. I had a question about an immunity defense supplement. It's zinc and holy basil. Have you ever heard of that as a combination? And if so, what are your thoughts about it? I haven't started taking it yet.
Well, Joyce, what I want to say about there's so many different formulations out there for immune health as far as supplementation. The first things that come to mind with that formula, number one is zinc is incredibly important for the health of the immune system. And if we're deficient, then like I know that I am, so I need to supplement with zinc. And especially right now with COVID, it is part of the functional medicine suggestion to take zinc. And holy basil, what I know about holy basil, this is very calming, and it helps reduce stress. And we know that stress definitely impacts the immune system in a negative way. So I would think that that's why that particular company put together that formulation. And like I said, there's hundreds of different immune formulations out there. Daryl, do you have anything else to say about it?
Well, I was going to say that we always start with food. So like everything Lucy was talking about today is starting with a clean diet. So, you know, the more you can get from your food, the better. And then sometimes supplementation can be required for certain people, but that's really an individual thing. Hard for us to comment on.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Mona posted a question in the chat that they've been baking a lot of bread during the pandemic, a mixture of whole wheat, rye, etc. Is there a healthier way to have bread? So that could be a whole nother webinar subject. I'm just going to answer briefly. So our programs are generally gluten-free programs. So we would be using different grains. And grains, if you're looking to lose weight, minimizing grains, whether they contain gluten or not, is going to be part of your journey.
Yeah, so I will say bread is one of the more challenging foods, especially anything you're going to buy packaged in the grocery store is going to have a lot of chemicals and preservatives that aren't whole foods. So by baking your own, Mona, it's a great start. And if you're using, you know, quality ingredients, then sure, it's probably, if you don't have any issues with gluten, then that's a great way to do it. It's really challenging to find a good bread that you can buy. So I wish I lived closer to come by and get a few slices of your fresh bread.
I just want to say something about bread because, you know, years ago, like everything has changed in our modern society. And years ago, when they made bread, it took days to make it. And it was actually more of a sourdough bread. So if we can say that, quote unquote, can bread be healthier, I'm going to go with the sourdough process, the fermentation of the bread. And there's studies being done now for quite a few years that they're suspecting that maybe sourdough bread, because the fermentation takes the anti-nutrients out of it, that it could actually maybe be safe for celiac patients. So I thought that was interesting, but I like the idea of traditional ways of cooking as opposed to modern days of cooking, which everything is fast, fast, fast. So like a start, what do you call it? Thinking in Italian, the yeast starter, you know, when you make.
Mona just posted that she does use a starter. So that's great.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Great job, Mona. Send some over to us.
Anyone else before we close?
I just had one other question about alternate ways to get your veggies. If you have any other suggestions on how to get to that 10 servings.
Well, Joyce, the best way are the ways that I mentioned there. I mean, you know, everything in life takes some work. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's why smoothies are easy. It's an easy way because, you know, just mix it up in the blender. Soups, you know, yes, of course, you need to do some cooking, but soups can be frozen for later use. And you can get a variety of vegetables in there. And salads again with different toppings is a great choice. And sides actually, we, in one of our programs, we give a video on what do 9 to 13 servings of vegetables look like. So what's interesting is that cooked vegetables, like roasted vegetables, just half a cup is a serving, which is not a lot. So if you measure out a half a cup of roasted broccoli, you're going to say, oh my gosh, that's nothing. So you can reach that 10 servings really quickly. And then when you think snacks, first thing that comes to mind is crudité with guacamole or hummus. And anything else, girls? There was one I just created was a peanut butter or almond butter. I've forgotten that one. I think with coconut yogurt, and then you could dip your strawberries in it. So there's, you know, the whole point is as you go on to this journey, as you become creative.
Yeah, I would think that making sure that you're having vegetables with every meal, including breakfast. So even if you're not making a smoothie, if you're having eggs, you can heat up some vegetables from the night before and put an egg on top, or you could saute some greens, which takes 2 minutes, and scramble an egg into it. But you want to be getting something from the vegetable category, at least one thing into every meal. So smoothies and soups are the easiest ones to load up on, but whatever you're eating, you can always have some vegetables on the side. So Rose asks, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say Lucy's plate, where it's more than half with vegetables, is a good guide. And yes, Rose asked if we have tests to see if you're low in vitamins. The three of us offer complimentary discovery sessions. So it might be good to set up a session and look at your personal situation so it can decide how to help you.
But we don't offer testing. That's not what we do, but we can certainly, after talking to you, give you recommendations what to ask for when you go to the doctor.
But we do offer functional testing, Daryl.
No, but we're not drawing blood.
Oh, no, we're not drawing blood.
I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry to clarify. Thank you for clarifying that.
One last question. Mona asked about what vegetables go with oatmeal.
Let's get the fruit.
So that's a little bit more of a challenging one, and I tend to put a little fruit and some nuts on my oatmeal, but you can, like sweet potatoes, baked sweet potatoes, a spoon or two in your oatmeal. Some pumpkin is not a bad option. Trying to think of what else. Do you guys have any thoughts?
Well, sometimes if I'm having oatmeal, I'll have a small smoothie with a smaller serving of oatmeal, so I get both in.
And I guess you could try creating a savory oatmeal. We haven't done that yet, but for the person who likes savory, that is possible.
Okay, so that concludes our session today. So Wellness Wednesday, we're here every Wednesday at noon. Next week, Daryl will be talking about bone health. And the week after, the three of us will be talking about our favorite or more favorite kitchen tools. So hopefully get some time-saving tips there. And we do have a weight loss program coming up called Slim Possible. It starts March 15th and it's 8 weeks. And we will be coaching you towards a whole food diet and stress reduction, exercise, and making it super fun to get ready for spring and just feel great and lose some pounds. So hopefully you'll consider joining us, or let anybody you know who's looking to lose weight come talk to us. It's a lifestyle change that will be long lasting. So it is the way to do it. So, so thanks for coming, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Coming.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.